Right, this is going to be a very, very quick episode, guys. I've been talking to loads and loads of people recently, people asking me questions, etc. And yeah, they've been asking me certain things. And one thing that keeps on coming up time and time and time again is websites. Websites. How do you know if your website is good enough? And it's very, very simple. How is it converting? And so what we do is website visitors. So there's 100 website visitors to your website. And by the way, if you don't know how to do this, go YouTube it, Google Analytics. Very, very simple. You can see all your website visitors there. Dead. If I can do it, I am so not technical, but I can do it. So you can. You can find out your website visitors. So go across. Let's say it's, argument's sake, storemore.co.uk. That's my website. And what we do is find out, okay, there's 100 customers. How do we know if that site is performing? Well, there's two ways, but the way number one, because ultimately the job of my website is to give me your information. I want to know your name, telephone number, email address, and boom. If I get them things, then the website has done its job. That is the job of the website. And then what we do is the website hands the baton over and says, yes, you've done a great job, by the way. Thank you very much. Pass it on to the other team, and then the team then use that information, that email address, that the mobile number, and then their job is to get the reservation. Their job is simply to get that reservation. But the website's job is to get that information. So how do you know if your website's good? Simple. How much data are you getting per visitor? So for 100 visitors, how many do you want to get? We're hitting over 20% at the minute. So anything over 20%, I think is good. Are you hitting that mark? If not, why not? What are you doing incorrectly? And please don't look at your website as a cost. It's not a fucking cost. It's a massive, it's an investment. It's an investment that gives you a return on investment every single goddamn day. If you've got to spend 20 grand on your website, I spent over 20 grand on my website, then you have to do it. Why? Because it's a salesman that never sleeps, never takes a day off, is always there, always performing exactly the input that you give it, it gives off the same output. And so please look at your website as a valuable member of your team, if not the most valuable, because without the website, I don't know where we'd be. And so please look at your website and look at your analytics and think, okay, what percentage am I converting at? 100 visitors, I need at least 20 quotes. So straight away, last week, we only got 60 something quotes. I'm thinking, fucking hell, what the frigging bollocks shit bugger. Sorry, by the way, I don't know where that came from. That was my natural feeling. I swear to God, when I feel like, ah! And all right, I was thinking, right, is there a problem with our website? Do we need to change it? Because things change all the time. So I know it's only a small sample size, and I wouldn't make any big long-term decisions on small-term sample size. I wouldn't do it. Obviously, you can't. You've got to make long-term decisions based on long-term trends, and 1 week is not a long-term trend. So is there anything the website was doing wrong? So first of all, I thought, right, how many visitors? And I think it was like 300, sorry. I think we only got 300 visitors. So straight away, I know the problem. The problem isn't my team getting the conversions because their conversions are okay. The website isn't the problem because straight away, I know that we're hitting over 20% quote. We're getting 20% quotes from the website visitors. And by the way, don't forget, all you motley crew over there mess up my figures because you distort them so much because you guys are coming in to have a nosy what I do. And obviously I have a nosy what other people do as well. I've done loads of quotes recently. And do you know what? Nobody's come back to me and said, hi, Dean, why are you doing a quote with us? Nobody. It's like, oh my God, nobody. It's brilliant. Anyway, so I know people, so it distorts my figures somewhat. So maybe you guys can hit over 20%, but we're hitting 20% at the minute. And I've got to take into consideration that there is obviously other people coming in and having a look at what we do. And so your website needs to be converting at 20%. And when I say converting, I just want to reiterate that conversions for me means that you get to the thank you page. You only get to the thank you page by getting a quote, either telephone on us, and so getting a quote that way, so we get your name and telephone number and all the details, or getting some a price online by giving us your details, and then therefore we got our details, and then we can do all the rest of it. All the rest of it comes in. So when we see bad results, we can diagnose the problem really, really quickly. We can think, okay, is it the goddamn staff? And I'm only joking, by the way, goddamn staff. Is it the team? Have they underperformed this week? I said, look, nope, they've performed really, really well. Okay. Is it the website traffic not converting high enough? Nope, that's perfectly fine. Right. So the problem is we know straight away that we're not getting enough traffic to the website. Why are we getting enough traffic? Is the SEOs all right? Is the pay-per-click campaign still good? And then so we can go down that road. So we can diagnose the problem really, really quickly, and then we can deep dive into that problem and therefore have a solution quicker than we would normally. So my advice to everybody, please know your analytics. Just know the basics. Your website visitors, how many website visitors come to your site? And then you want to know how many of those, what is the percentage rate that you are converting that to a quote? What is that? And then you want to see how many of them quotes actually turn into move-ins and reservations. So ultimately, if we get 100 website visitors, we want 5 reservations. That's it. 5% of website visitors come and ultimately go. It was 7% last week, but that's outperforming normally what we normally do. So I would expect, on average, for me, it's over 5%. I think Big Yellow is only 1 point something, but again, it's a bigger company, so therefore, you see, it gets diluted somewhat, and so you'd never ever get the same sort of conversion rates there. I think we convert very, very well. I don't think many people would convert at 5%, and I'm not. Well, I am saying yeah because we are so good. Yeah, basically, I am saying that. Yeah, that's because obviously we've dialed in our sales, we've dialed in our follow up, our texts, etc. We text you, we follow you up. Oh, don't let you go, and that's a good thing, by the way, because if you really think you're the best solution, then you want to get hold of them, because you don't. If you care about that customer, you don't want that customer to go anywhere else, because I know we're not the best fit for the people who are looking at cheap self-storage, who are just wanting to store, I don't know, scaffolding or something and don't care if it gets wet or anything. They just care about price. We're not the best solution for you, and we'll tell you that. If you are storing home goods or anything that you care about and want kept safe, secure, clean, dry, you name it, then we are the best solution. If you go anywhere else, you won't get the same level of service and you won't get the same level of product. So if we care about the customer, then we wouldn't let you go. I wouldn't. What would you do if your family member was about to store somewhere else? A&A containers. I have no idea if there's an A&A containers, by the way, and I apologize if there is. I just made it up. Would you want your family to stay A&A containers when you know that it's not as good as your product? You would fight tooth and nail for your family to make sure they're stored with you rather than that other place. So why wouldn't you do it for your customers? And so we know we're the best solution for the majority of people. Then we've got to fight for them. We've got to fight for that customer and not let them go, because we care about them that goddamn much. Right. Hopefully that helps, guys. Know your figures, your analytics. It starts with your top of your funnel, your analytics, and it goes right to the very, very bottom. And we're converting at 20%. So the funnel is 20% of people who visit the website gives a name or address and gets a quote. And not address, name, email, telephone number. And then overall, 5% of our website visitors reserve. Or if it's not 5%, then we want to know why. All right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.